All right, Craig Breslow spoke about the Red Sox current roster, and he was asked quite simply, are they good enough to make a playoff push? Which, George, it's a fair question. Take a listen.
Currently constructed, do you think this is a playoff team right now?
I do. Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, simply stated there.
To the
and you know
point.
what? I agree with him. Listen, George, you and I have talked about this on several shows we do here in NESN over the last couple of years. And it always is sort of the same song and dance in a way of, damn, they're just so close. Can they make a move at the deadline? And the answer has really been no. You know, it's been very small, minor moves. It hasn't been anything major. They never quite get over the hump. They're never as good in the second half of the season as they look promising in the first half of the season. They sort of fade down the stretch, although, to their credit, they are in that wild card hunt, that wild card race late into the regular season.
Yeah.
But now I still want one more move. I've kind of sort of given up on Bregman because I just think he wants too long of a deal. And I agree with the Red Sox there. I'm not willing to go long-term with this guy. He's at an older age. It's a ton of miles on him. And he gets banged up. So I'm with them. I don't want to get stuck with that contract. Now we're hearing Nolan Arenado. And by the way, if Bregman, which so far he's seen, that market's not what he thought it would be. So if Bregman sort of, that's why they call it a negotiation. If he takes a shorter deal, then I'm back in. I mean, honestly, I'll be running up and down naked around Fenway. I'll be so happy to get the guy. But now we're hearing Nolan Arenado rumors. They could be going in that direction instead of the Bregman direction. Either way, I bring all this up because I'm one move away from feeling completely comfortable with the offseason. But in the end, I think they make that move, whatever it is, and I think this team finally gets over the hump, gets into the wild card. What say you?
He was asked, is this a playoff team?
He was asked straight up.
And what's the wild card? Is that the playoffs?
Yeah.
If you get in a wild card series, are you making the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. They are. Now, if you want a solidified AL East contender, can be beyond the wild card, need to add to the bullpen, need to add a righty bat to that lineup. But this is a team we've seen go 81 and 81. 81 and 81. Made a massive upgrade to the rotation by bringing in Garrett Crochet. Walker Buehler seems expensive, is a flyer. If he can get back to his production from 2 years ago, and I'm just talking innings pitched alone, that is a sneaky good rotation and what he adds to it. And I keep saying it with them all, it's a trickle-down effect. What does that do for Tanner Houck? What does it do for Brian Bayo? What does it do for Cutter Crawford? This team, if they win 88 games, that's a wild card team in my opinion. And they certainly have the pitching to do so. They've upgraded defensively. They've gotten better as we've seen as they go on defensively. But they need that right-hand bat. Because I can't see the top four, let's go top five hitters.
Okay.
If it's Duran, Devers, Casas, Story, Masataka Yoshida, that is four lefties and one righty. And the one righty's Trevor Story. Can he be dependable? Can he be there for them? I don't know.
Sure.
There needs to be a big right-handed bat added. Is that Alex Bregman? Is that trading for a Vlad Jr. at the deadline? Is that, and signing your Bregman, Nolan Arenado on a down year? Do you get him into a new setting away from the Cardinals and with the Red Sox? Does that waken him up? And Nolan Arenado would be a massive defensive upgrade at third. And then you can do a lot. Then there's also what do you get at second? Is it Vaughn Grissom?
Right.
What do you get when Christian Campbell gets called up? Marcelo Meyer. You know, those guys that can provide pop, especially with Christian Campbell. That's, again, the right-handed bat. There's Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer are lefties. This is an 87 and 90 win team, and I'm projecting the prospects that come up, make an addition, make an impact, which is a heavy ask.
Yeah, it is.
Need more for the bullpen, need a right-handed bat.
But we've been hearing about these prospects, how good they are, so it's not really that heavy of an ask. The expectations are there.
But what's a prospect?
Yeah, right.
It's that.
It's
not potential. It's only potential. It's not potential met.
Right.
Prospects are prospects, end of the day.
But once upon a time, Duran was a prospect.
Yes.
And my God.
Took him a few years, though.
It took him a few years. It did take him a few years.
Yeah, it wasn't immediate impact.
Right. All right, we want to hear from you, too. Email us at chat@nesn.com. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag NESNChat. We want to hear about your Red Sox sort of prediction and expectations for the season as we're here now at spring training. George, I went ahead and sort of ranked the AL East, and I just want to run this by you and get your thoughts. So I have the Blue Jays in last again. I just think this team is going to be selling assets. At this point, I'm actually looking at them, and I'm selfishly like, hey, Red Sox, can you get involved in the Vlad Jr. stuff? Because I think they're going to start selling off pieces here. Kudos to them. I've lost money betting on the Blue Jays over the years because they have accumulated so much talent, but they just keep falling short over and over again. It's clearly not working. I think this year really sets in for them that we got to sell off all these and start the rebuild. The good news for them is they have the talent to sell off to start the rebuild.
Yeah.
So I think the Blue Jays, I have them in last. I have the Rays next. They're always solid. Even when you think they're going to be bad, they're solid. When you think they're going to be good, they're just solid. But they're boring AF, and I think they're likely around 500 again, which they were last season. This is where I have a dip. I have the Orioles in third now. And the reason why is because it feels like a year ago in the offseason, they went for it.
Corbin Burns,
we're going all in. I thought this could work because it's a young team learning how to win. It didn't work. But I actually thought all they need to do now is run it back or add to. They couldn't do it. They lose Burns. He goes to the Diamondbacks. That was a huge mistake. I think the Orioles are still sort of trying to figure it all out, trying to figure out how to win. That's where I have the Red Sox leapfrogging them.
Yeah.
I think the Sox now, again, I still need another move. I still need one more. George is telling you the same thing. But if they can stay healthy, and that's any team in the league, that's just not Red Sox. That's any team. If they can stay healthy, George, I think they're deeper. I think they're more talented than they've been in the past few years. I believe that gets them over the hump. There's no Alex Cora contract talk and all that nonsense hanging over this team. I think the Sox make the wild card. And then I still have the Yankees, the creme de la creme in the division, maybe even the AL. But it's sort of a different feel, George, now because they lose Soto. They're more pitching, kind of leaning on the pitching, more defensive, sort of a lower scoring, more boring defensive type Yankee team, but they're still the best in the division.
They're still dipping Jack bats, and they're relying on Aaron Judge.
Yes.
But when you have Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Devin Williams, you have two aces, and Devin Williams, one of the best, if not the best closer in baseball, bullpen arm. You only score 2 runs, it's fine, because they're not going to score a ton against you. My 5 through 1, I go Rays, Jays, but I agree with you. It's 4 or 5. Who cares? I go Red Sox still at 3 because think of this Orioles team with the postseason experience. Do they get something out of a Jackson Holiday? Can he actually be an everyday major leaguer now instead of the go up? Oh man, we made mistakes, send him back down. Get the confidence be there, and that's just a good offensive team. They just need to put it all together and stay hot in the playoffs. That's why I just can't put the Red Sox ahead of the Orioles yet. The Orioles have been there and they have proven it. The Red Sox, it's a thing of I'm not just saying it because it's missing. It's they need an actual DH and they need an actual right-handed bat.
Sure.
Masataka Yoshida, he can be serviceable in spots, but you just simply can't have a DH that lacks that type of power that just simply rolls bats, that hits over and pulls all the time and just isn't consistent and doesn't have an impact defensively or really on the base path. You need someone just like I'm not asking too much of like the old school vision of a DH. Yeah. Go up there, be the big bat, hit 35 home runs, hit 30 home runs a year. Be that power bat, middle lineup that teams have to pitch around and you set the rest of your guys up. So I still have the Red Sox at 3. Okay. I have Orioles 2, Yankees 1. And it goes back to the playoff conversation of their playoff team right now. The tough thing is the Royals and the Tigers were playoff teams.
Yeah. And
the Tigers are going, exactly. They're both going to get better. Orioles have a big loss losing Corbin Burns. I mean, he went to an 89-win Diamondbacks team. If the D-backs are in the AL, they're in the playoffs.
Sure.
That's a playoff team there.
Yep.
That's a big loss, but it's more of just, well, the Red Sox made additions. Can they improve? It is, can they beat out the teams that are atop of them? Orioles, Royals, Tigers. We can see if the Mariners finally put it back all together.
I'm out on them.
What happens with the Astros? Yeah. Is it a reset for them that they're going to go through?
Right.
What happens with the Guardians? What happens with the Yankees?
Sure. You know what's crazy? When you brought up the Tigers, anytime I go to see the latest on Alex Bregman, it's always the same 3 teams. It's the Cubs, it's the Red Sox, and it's the Tigers. And I'm like, damn it. This is the issue sometimes is you almost have to play keep away from from your ops. So if Bregman goes to the Tigers, they just got a lot better because similar to the Red Sox, young team trying to figure it out. I mean, hell, if he goes to the Tigers, that's advantage Tigers. And that hurts the Sox when it comes down to these wild card races. So some of this stuff, yes, you're trying to bolster your lineup. You're trying to bolster your team. What does this guy bring to my team? Of course that matters. But there's also the caveat where you have to look and you have to think, okay, not only do we have him, but we're keeping him away from a Tigers, from a this team, from a that team, even the Astros. He could go back to the Astros. That could potentially hurt the Red Sox if we're talking wild card. So some of this stuff is, yes, you get better, but it's also keeping him away from teams that could hurt your playoff chances. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The Red Sox have improved desperately where they needed to. I'm not going to try and undersell the scare crochet, but it just shows the fine line between making the postseason and not. And that can be if this team makes a jump to 90 wins, but you see improvements throughout the AL and other spots, and 90 isn't enough. And it could just be right there on the cutoff. 89 is not enough in the National League. There's nothing that tells you it wouldn't be the case in the AL. It's where other teams improve and what they need to get done. That's where, and I agree, like Craig Breslow, is this a playoff team? Yes, because the wild card is a playoff berth. That gets you into the postseason. All you got to do is get in.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get into the big dance. And then whoever you end up with at the end, that's it. But this team needs to add more. And I don't think they're done.
You are so right about 80 wins and wild cards. I'm just looking at the standings from last season. O's had 91.
Yeah.
Royals had 86. Tigers had 86. Mariners, who just missed out, 85.
Yeah.
Twins, 82. Red Sox, 81. I mean,
and then what's the NL? What was the NL wild card?
For wild card,
that should have been 90 wins.
93, 89.
Yep.
89. Diamondbacks missed. They
With
had
89. Yeah.
And then Cardinals, 83. Yeah, you're right. Man, what a competitive league. God, it's baseball season, baby.
It's competitive.
Woo!
Yeah, but at the end.
What?
Dodgers.
Bro, you think again?
They added Blake Snell. Just one of the moves.
I'm so sick of that, man. Well, coming up, we play matchmaker with an NFL legend. Such a buzzkill at the end of the day.
I know, I'm sorry.
Talk,
I'm sorry.
You just had to go and ruin it with
I'm
the
sorry.
Dodgers.
Hey, they're in the NL.
Yeah, I know.
They are in the NL.
Hey, Dodgers Red Sox World Series.
That'd be awesome.
Baseball gods. Bro, if baseball went back to back, so you get Yankees Dodgers and then Red Sox Dodgers, are you kidding me? Ratings in those World Series back to back would be insane. All we would need, though, is a Red Sox upset. That's all.
Need another add to the bullpen. Need a right-handed bat. Maybe one more starting pitcher.
You may need more than that.
I'm not talking
Dodgers,
World
dog.
Series. I'm thinking about getting there, not beating the Dodgers.
Fair. All right.
Talking wild card for 10 minutes, and you're just throwing World Series win at me.